I like to go back to 1990 because that was the year that I started my residence in Hanoi. And at that time, there were less than 200,000 foreign visitors to Vietnam. There were 3 international flights to Ho Chi Minh City from Bangkok. There were 2 to Hanoi from Bangkok. And if we wanted to travel outside of Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, we had to get special travel permits from the police. There was one international hotel, the famous Floating Hotel, which is currently residing in North Korea, if anybody wants to know. Average daily rate was over $200 a day for staying in a cabin with a toilet that sucked. 2011, I think I always view as a major milestone for Vietnam when we got to 6 million foreign visitors. And I say that because when I first came to Asia, I used to go to Thailand quite a lot. And in the mid-80s, Thailand actually hit that $6 million number, which I remember well. Coincided with the opening of the second terminal in Da Nang, which facilitated a big increase in the number of Chinese tourists coming into Vietnam, and the number of flights shot up to over 100 a week. In 2018, we hit 15 million foreign visitors, and 5 million of those were Chinese, and 3.5 million of those were Korean. So basically over 50%. Interesting to note that it took Thailand 15 years to go from 6 million to 15 million foreign visitors compared to the 7 years that it took Vietnam. 2018, we had 15,603 to 5-star hotels, and the number of rooms was 353,000. Interestingly, Airbnb had reached 40,000 listings and continues to grow. 2019, foreign visitor arrivals reached 18.5 million, which was the record so far, and domestic travellers reached 85 million, which is actually a pretty fantastic number, and one that a lot of people overlook. We've had a decline of 40% in the first 4 months of 2020, but that's masked by a record number of visitors in January and down to almost 0 in April. Last week, we saw domestic travel resume. We saw increase in flights, interestingly allocated by the Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam. And the government is preparing plans to support domestic travel. I think what we saw over the weekends, based on preliminary results, and Michael will probably have more to say on that, is that people were prepared to travel close to home, travel by their own transport, but there was a reluctance to get involved with airports and planes. So the further destinations didn't fare too well. So the key challenge seems to be the fear factor. The domestic travel to closer destinations to the major cities will probably help the smaller properties. And what my big question is, how many of the small private hotels are actually going to reopen? The key to reviving the industry really has got to be international travel, and we're talking to the government at the moment as Tourism Advisory Board about creating travel bubbles between countries or destinations that have managed to contain community transmission, but we're unlikely to return to 2019 levels, I don't think, until 2022, unless we're able to start taking visitors from China by the third quarter. Thank you.